I talk about mental health, PTSD in soldiers. I explained this in a video, one of my first videos that actually got me talking like this openly online to people. And I was explaining what PTSD is for soldiers. So I'll talk about it again. When you go through any traumatic event, for example, a car accident, okay, you're going to be initially in shock. You're going to be shaking. Going through your head is a whole list of shoulda, coulda, woulda things. You're going to be thinking, I should have done that, could have avoided that, why did I do that? All these things. Your car might be in a bad way. You're going to be in a bad way. Hopefully, people come to your aid. It could be the fire department, it could be the police, could be the ambulance, right? But they come to your aid and they sit you down, they settle you down and they talk to you. They look you in the eye and they say, do you know you've just had a serious accident? And you'll tell them, yeah, I'm aware. And then they're going to say, do you want a drink or a cup of tea? They're going to sit you down. You're in shock, right? And you're still shaking a little bit. But what they're doing is they're giving you the opportunity and the time to process what has happened. You're still in this process. You're going to go home and you're probably going to lay down in bed and it's still going to be on your mind. And when you fall asleep, believe it or not, your subconscious, that's going to start really thinking about what you've just been through. You might get a restless night's sleep. That's all part of the process. You're still processing that trauma. Now that might take a day or 2 or 3. At the end of it, you're over it and you move on. Now, the reason why a lot of soldiers get their PTSD is because when you're at war, you go through traumatic things. You might see a friend get blown up, a friend get shot, be exposed to things you're not normally exposed to in normal day life. The problem is you don't have time to process it. I'll give you an example. When my friend Alex Tate got blown up, his leg got blown off, we patched him up, we got him on the stretcher and we had to Kazivac him. So we're carrying him on the stretcher, we get the heli come flying in and it flies away with him on it. In that moment, we don't have time to sit down, have a cup of tea and chill out. It just doesn't happen. Instead, we're moving on to the next thing. So everything that we just got exposed to, all the imagery and the sounds and the feelings and emotions gets put to the back of our minds because we need to forward think into what we're going to do next, because obviously we're still at war. We're still in the war zone. And if we switch off or get into one of those states where we're sad or depressed, it could be one of us. So we're still moving forward. That's just one example and one event of what happened on one day. We'd go to war 6 months to 7 months at a time. I use myself as an example. I've been to war twice. So that's a whole year of my life that I've always been switched on like that. So then when I come home, I've got all these memories that I've stored. It's only when I'm out of that environment and I'm really settled. Later on, a few years later, you start to think. And then when you're going through sadness and depressions of life, it starts to spark these images and trauma. And it just comes to the front of your mind like a tsunami wave, like bang, there you go, handle that, deal with that now, process that now. And it's a lot to process. It's like a car accident example multiplied by a whole year. And that's why a lot of soldiers go into that PTSD mode, and some really don't know how to handle it, or they try and handle it on their own, because as soldiers as well, we're trained to be very resilient, to go to environments like that and be strong enough to see it to the end. When you're no longer in that environment and you become a bit of a softer man because you're no longer in the military and you're exposed to normal life, and normal life is a lot slower, you do get confused with your emotional state. I'm not supposed to feel this way. I'm a soldier. I've been trained to be better than this. And then obviously with the added pressure of being a man, you're not supposed to show weakness, especially in front of people. It counteracts the hero. You're socially conditioned to be a hero. So you would never really dig into those depths of your emotions.